Dean, good to see you, mate. I want to ask you about Ross Barkley because how big a signing is it? An England regular, a big reputation. It's a hell of a get, isn't it?
I think it's a really big get. Really pleased that we managed to get him. We had the opportunity to speak to him and just sell him the project, what we're trying to do this season. And it gives him the opportunity to go and get game time and earn the chance to get into the Euros with England. And that's top of his priority list. I think we all heard that during his interview when he came. But he's only too pleased to be here, and I've liked what I've seen so far.
Is he ready to go straight away?
Yeah, no, he's ready to go. He played a full game against Barnsley in the last round of the Cup, and he's made sub appearances already in the Premier League, so he's fit and ready.
Any more signings on the cards? I mean, is there any cash left, Dean?
I mean, that's one for the owners, obviously, but I think we're quite happy with what we've got at the moment. We set a target of the players that we wanted in the positions, and we're comfortable with that. And we'll have to keep our finger on the pulse in case anybody comes in for any of our lads. So if there's any outs, then there's a possibility of ins after that as well.
I've been told Mark Roca, the Espanyol midfielder, might be on your agenda. Is there any truth in that?
No truth in that at all.
Okay. Let's look at the window as a whole. I mean, look, a new goalkeeper in Martinez, a new right back in Matty Cash. You've got a winger in Bertrand Traore. You've got your striker in with Watkins as well, and Ross Barkley, and the captain signs a new 5-year contract. How do you assess that as a whole? It sounds like all your Christmases have come at once.
Yeah, it feels at the moment like a really good window. It's a lot easier when you only have a handful of signings to do rather than 13 as we had to do last year. And you can go and handpick the positions that you want and the players that you're after. And I think I believe we've added quality to a more experienced team now in the Premier League. Having found it tough in the first season, but I said at the end of last season, the last 10 games, I saw an improvement from the majority of our players, and now we've added quality to that core of the team, and overall really pleased with where we're at, and we'll certainly get tested with that now on Sunday against the league champions.
It speaks volumes, doesn't it? I've spoken to you a lot where you talked about the rush it was. Not scattergun, that would be wrong to sort of explain it like that. We had so few players last summer after winning the playoffs. It talks about how important that win, that ability, that resurrection was after the lockdown to survive in the Premier League, because now Villa are flourishing, and it feels like you've had a more chance to have more of a strategic go in this transfer window. And it bodes really well for the future, doesn't it? That growth over the last 12 months has been extraordinary, really, I suppose, is where I'm trying to get to.
Yeah, I think we always knew in terms of our strategy, survival in that first year and getting retention of Premier League status would always enable us to pick more quality into the squad and add more quality, and it feels like we've certainly done that. So retention in the first year of any club that gets promoted is massively important.
And it's been a heck of a start as well. I mean, last night's result aside, you made 11 changes. And I just wonder what your thoughts are on that. 11 changes. You made the Carabao Cup final last season. You've knocked out at this stage to Championship opposition. But it gave you a chance to see some of the depth in that squad, didn't it?
It did. Listen, I was disappointed with the performance and the result last night because, it's 11 players that played last week at Bristol City and were fantastic. So I was disappointed, and it's a competition that I feel that we could do really well in, and it's one that we've got a proud tradition in, got to the final last year. So the players know the rewards that you can get from a good run in that. But, we made 11 changes because it's a little bit like our pre-season for a lot of the players. It's been a short pre-season. We haven't had many games at all, obviously, with the pandemic, and them 3 games has enabled us to get everybody up to speed for the Premier League games that are coming thick and fast.
5 straight wins other than that, though, and 2 straight wins in the Premier League. I mean, after last season, to start with that and some 2 fantastic performances as well, what's that done for the belief and the momentum and the expectations in the squad?
Yeah, I think it's certainly helped everybody get a kind of excitement for the season. Just winning your first 2 games, it gives you a hell of a head start and a kick start, and we need to go and make sure we continue that. And it just shows you that defensively what we did last season, we've continued that momentum. We've only conceded 2 goals this season in the 5 games, and I got the PGMOL told me that the Burton goal should have been disallowed as well for an offside. So, defensively we've got a really sound structure at the moment, but I feel that we've added really well. I said earlier, Ollie's not scored in the Premier League yet, but it gives us certainly a different dimension in terms of his work rate, the runs he makes, and the quality he has.
Champions next. Look, I don't know how you look at it. Is it better to get them at this stage in the season? Are they beatable, Dean?
The champions, everybody's beatable on the day. We just got beat by a championship team, so everybody is beatable. But you just look at their cumulative record over the last 2 seasons, and it's been incredible, the points tally that they've got. Them and Manchester City have been way out ahead of everybody over the last 2-3 years. So really, really tough game, and they've had a good start to the season, but there's no reason why we can't. I feel that we're more athletic, more robust than the team that faced Liverpool last season, and we fared okay with them last season. I thought, the home game, we 1-0 up with 3 minutes to go, and the away game, I thought we pushed them all the way as well, and gave a couple of sloppy goals away late in the game.
Last one from me, mate. Any team news for us? Is anybody struggling?
Courtney House came off obviously last night. Other than that, no, fully fit squad.
And what about Courtney? Have you got to assess him before?
Yeah, no, he'll be assessed this morning. Obviously, he came off last night, and we'll have a look and see what's up with him.
Okay, top man. Thanks, Dean.
Cheers, Rob.
Dean, you did come so close to beating Liverpool last season, certainly at home, last-minute winner for them. How much more do you have to do this season to try and get that bit more?
Well, I think I said we've got a fitter team this year, and we've conceded late goals against them twice. So, we have to make sure that our fitness levels and our concentration levels are right up there. But that's got to be right for the off. The concentration levels against, the quality front players that they've got, Mane and Salah, Firmino, they're quality players, and we've got to be very concentrated. We've got a proud record at the moment of not conceding many, and we need to continue that, because we know that within our squad we've certainly got goals in it. We've Ollie Watkins, Jack Grealish, Trezeguet, but also our midfielders, and Ross Barkley comes into that now as well.
Liverpool last season, as a relatively impartial observer, how exciting were they to watch and to see them take that title?
Yeah, I mean, their winning record last year was incredible, and not getting beat as well for so long. It was just an incredible run of performances, not just results. And they deservedly won the league last year. Having taken, what I thought was a wonderful Manchester City team to a couple of points the season before. So, as I say, their cumulative points tally has been incredible, and it was great to watch them last year. How they've evolved, and they'll continue to do that, I'm sure, under Jurgen Klopp.
After the Fulham win, you brought up that you'd, I think, faced only a few shots this season, or fewer shots this season. Liverpool, if you're going to face anyone, they're the ones who are bombarding, or certainly I think they've had 17 shots, which is more than anyone else. Is that something that you've been trying to work on this season, albeit only 2 Premier League matches in facing fewer shots?
Yeah, I mean, we felt, prior to the lockdown last year, that we're giving away too many opportunities, too many chances, and we needed to make sure we addressed that. And we addressed that and came back for Project Restart, and was really good. And we've continued that momentum through to this season. Defensively, we've been good, and we have to make sure that we're at the top of our game now against one of the best.
And last week when we spoke to you, you just had that fantastic win over Bristol City. This is my final question now. So this week, there weren't quite so many players, I think, who might have given you food for thought last night. But tell me if I'm wrong.
No, you're right. I mean, we played an unchanged team from the for the Fulham game from the first Premier League game, and we played a cup team that was unchanged as well, and we just got a little bit of a contrasting performance last night, that's for sure.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Hi, Dean. One player I was catching my eye, but maybe not too many headlines, is Ezri Concert in recent times. I thought he was brilliant down at Fulham. And I read somewhere that maybe he could be following the likes of Mings and Grealish into the England squad. Do you think he's got that kind of potential, Ezri Concert?
I do believe he's got that kind of potential, and knowing the lad, that's something that he wants to enhance as well. And I think he's got a great partnership going at the moment with Tyrone Mings. They've got a really good understanding. I thought defensively against a lot of crosses that Fulham put in, Mitrovic is one of the best as well in the opposition penalty box from crosses. I thought they dealt with him brilliantly, and Ezri's game's coming on leaps and bounds.
Mm. And in terms of the challenge of Liverpool, I mean, like it's already been kind of said, it's almost football from another planet at times. I mean, how do you sort of prepare for a team that is that good?
I think that's the beauty of football. You know, you look how Ezri, we just spoke about Ezri and Tyrone there, how they've had to defend against Fulham with the crosses and Mitrovic. This is going to be a different game against Liverpool, and how we have to defend against Firmino, who drops off and links play, and Salah and Mane making them runs in behind and just from out to in at times. So, we have to adapt tactically very quickly, and our players, I feel, are capable of doing that. And I thought defensively we were good against them last season and restricted them. And we have to certainly make sure we do that again.
And Ollie Watkins his work rate's impressive. His first Premier League goal, though, it looks like it can't come soon enough for him.
No, I mean, I think they're all desperate, aren't they, when they first come into the Premier League to get that first goal. He's got a couple in the Carabao Cup, but the players are very, very appreciative of the work rate. And as I've said before, the different dimension he gives us. And I was having a chat with Jack Grealish the other day, and he said he's come in and the players knew he was a good player, but they didn't realise how good a player he was. And I think he's certainly surprised a few of them as well.
And just touching on last night a little bit, it's been such a feel-good with the transfer window and the way you've started. You're just a little bit worried that maybe the momentum might have been lost a little bit last night?
No, not at all. I just feel that was a one-off game last night. It was a blip first half. Just we weren't at the races. Yet we still had two open goals that we missed. So it was just a blip in the scheme of things, and that's football. That happens. I mean, I'm sure Liverpool losing on penalties to Arsenal will only see that as a blip as well.
Thank you.
Thanks, mate.
Dean, with chances and goals for most teams few and far between in the Premier League, defending's vital. How impressed have you been, and how pleased are you with not having conceded a goal and the way the defence is shaping up?
Yeah, really pleased. Especially the last 5 minutes against Fulham, where 3-0 up, it's very easy to lose a little bit of concentration. The game's won, but we were getting blocks. We cleared the ball off the line, and it just shows the actual desire from all the players to keep the ball out the back of the net and keep clean sheets. And it's very important if we can continue to do that. I certainly believe that was one of the reasons that we retained our status in the league last year.
They'll be tested though, Mane, Salah. I mean, they're a handful for any defence.
They certainly are, yeah, and they've tested most defences this season. So we'll get tested, but I think it's a great opportunity for our players to go and test themselves against the best, and they're certainly the best at the moment.
That's what I was coming on to. Hearing even us today and everybody else, it's almost as if, well, don't bother turning up because Liverpool are that good. How your players can't go into a game like that. They've got to go in believing they can win it. Yeah,
no, and we will every game that we go into. You obviously are aware of the talents that some teams have more than others, and what you can't do is go in with a defeatist attitude, and we'll certainly not have that. We know the threats that they have and the talents they have, but we also know what we've got as well. And as I said, we had two good games against them last season, but unfortunately ended up on the wrong side of the scoreline. But we we've added more quality to our squad this season, and hopefully that can even it up a little bit.
The Liverpool secret, is it just simple that they've got top quality players?
I think it's a little bit more than that. I mean, their work rate is phenomenal. If you saw them pressing in the first half against Arsenal last week in the Premier League game, there was no individualism. It was one that was pure teamwork, and it's one that a lot of clubs will take note of.
Ross Barkley's played in 2 Premier League games this season. I presume from that he's fit to play. Is he in your thoughts to start him?
Yeah, he's certainly in my thoughts. He's, the reason he's come here is to play games. He's he thought that he might not get the game time that he desired at Chelsea, and Chelsea have, thankfully let him come to us on loan, and he wants to get the minutes in. He wants to play, and I was there at the Chelsea-Liverpool FA Cup game where he scored a wonderful goal last season. So, if he does start, let's hope he can do that again.
What will he bring to your team?
Well, in the first game, a blue against a red, and he'd certainly enjoy that. But he's got wonderful ability. He's got a great high retention record on the ball. He very rarely gives it away. One of the top players in the league for ball retention, but his assists and passes into the penalty box and goal scoring is certainly one of the things that attracted me, or a lot of the things that attracted me.
We touched on it last night. Could he be of great benefit to Jack Grealish and Jack's game?
Yeah, I think all the additions will be a benefit to Jack and take an awful lot of pressure off him. And certainly Ross Barkley will be one of them. Good
luck.
Thanks, Tom.
Hi Dean, Steve here. Good to see you. You mentioned there how it will be a test for your players. You're looking forward to the test. Win or lose, is this the kind of game where you learn a lot about your squad?
You learn a lot in every game. I mean, I learnt a lot last night in the Stoke game about the players who have been on the fringes of the Premier League start. So you're going to learn an awful lot about them. But I'll certainly learn how far we've come, because the games that we played last year, as I said, against Liverpool, I thought our concentration levels were good up until the last 10-15 minutes or so of the game. This season, I feel that we've added more quality. I feel we've added more athleticism, and we'll see how far we've come in this game now.
And then you've got a few days off, which I'm sure you'll be enjoying without a game. And is that a chance with all these new players you've brought in after the Liverpool game to really get a feel for how you want the team, for everyone to get to gel together? Yeah,
I mean, it's a few days off for a few of us, but I've got the likes of Jack Grealish, Tyrone Mings, Conor Hourihane, John McGinn. They've got 3 games. They're going away international duty and playing 3 games, so there's not much of a rest for a lot of the players. But the ones that certainly aren't on international duty, we can certainly spend some time with.
Yeah, and how do you feel about the international break so early in your season, breaking things up? Happens a lot, of course, but does it mess things up?
No, not really. I mean, we've had a cup game every midweek, so we've been fairly busy from the start of the season. I do frown upon the idea of playing 3 games during an international break, and I understand we've gone through a pandemic and probably missed one window already, but it's a lot of games to play for these players in a short space of time.